Welcome back, everybody, to the XHL playoffs. You guys excited about this one? I am. We've got the semifinals and the conference finals in this matchup, and right out of the get-go, right out of the gate, Utah is bringing the physicality. Remember, they upset Seattle, the best team in the Western Conference, a playoff game ago. So that really set off the fireworks here in this XHL playoffs, and Utah looks like they're going to be a tough team. They've already delivered a big hit. They look like they're here to stay. They've got Tucson in the penalty box with an interference call. Can you tell I'm not very excited about this? Because I know what's going to happen, guys. It's a goal here for Utah, and I'm not very happy about this. I want to see my teams. We want to see our teams. We don't want to see these ECHL teams destroying us, our custom squads. We don't want that to happen. Well, Utah gets a power play goal, and then they're going to draw another penalty off of Tucson. That's Logan Camp with a tripping call, and this is just not a good start. Not a good first period. I mean, we're still in double digits in time left, guys. We got 10 minutes left in the first period. Luckily for Tucson, Lion Trees makes a nice save right here, but he's got to step up if Tucson's going to play this poor on defense and, giving up penalties left and right like they are right now. Look at this. 6 seconds were left on that Camp penalty. He's still in the box. That's a slashing call on Connor Shortle, and it's just not good, guys. It is not a good situation. Another penalty? Oh, this time it's on Utah. Okay, well, that's good. It's on the guy who scored the last time. That's on Boucher. It's a slashing call. And again, I will be toning down the slashing for the XHL finals, mostly because I had all these games recorded prior to. But I noticed that it's a lot. There's a lot of slashing calls, a lot of slashing penalties that I don't think's very realistic. So that'll get toned down. But Tucson will kill their 2 penalties. Utah had that one that was remaining. So it was a 4-on-4 situation. Their time ran out on that penalty. And as soon as it did, as soon as their man got out of the box, Henry's going to go into the box. So just really poor timing there for Utah, and really great save right there by Miner. And we've got even more puck movement. Good movement there from Yandel back to Vinskov over to Stockton. Great shots. Good looks on Miner, but he's going to stand tall, and it's still going to be 1-0 here, guys. And here come the Armadillos. Look at the trailer right here. That's Pattengale, the defenseman, coming up right up the center of the ice. Nobody was covering him. He found a wide open look, and he said, fine, I'll take this. And that's his first goal of the postseason. And Tucson will tie this baby up. So it is 1-1. Very sloppy first period for both teams. 5 penalties in total. And Utah with the lone power play conversion there. So, hey, it's been pretty close. It's been pretty close both sides. I think it's ultimately going to come down to who's going to have the most penalties and who's going to convert more. And right now, Tucson gets another chance. We got an interference call that's, that's just not good. You can't have that happen. But, hey, Stahl gets the goal. Beautiful goal. Power play goal. Number 2 of the postseason. And Tucson finds themselves up on top 2-1. With 2 minutes left in the second period, we've got good puck movement there for Utah. That's Robinson with the goal. Just noticing a lot of poor defensive awareness on a lot of these custom teams. And it happened actually a lot in NHL 22. I don't know, it's just like this is the way the game's designed now. Either way, let's get back into the action. We got Smith-Pelly with a shot, and then the rebound. That's a goal by McCluskey. Beautiful goal, giving Tucson the lead right here. And will there be an upset? Maybe not. Maybe not, guys. But 11 minutes, anything can happen. Lion Tree's going to have to stand tall, guys. Plus the defense, we already talked about it. The defensive awareness has got to get a little bit better. But Lion Trees, my goodness, what a great last couple saves here. 49 seconds left to go in the third period. They're going to call in the extra attacker. Shot that just went off wide. And Tucson has an opportunity here to get that empty net goal, but the shot will be blocked. You got another chance here as the puck is just getting a little bit bounced around from team to team. But oh no, the shot! He scores! Bradley ties the game up, and we will definitely be getting a GG9 replay on this one. Unbelievable. Tucson gives up the tying goal with about 30 seconds left to go, guys. Let's see what just happened here. Might have been just a little deflection, possibly, off a Tucson defender. But 7 seconds left. They got some good looks, some good opportunities, but Miner's going to make the save, and we are going to go to overtime. Unbelievable, guys. It's got to feel like a little bit of a letdown here for Tucson being tied 3-3 after what feels like they've dominated the game. 27 shots to 17, 21 faceoffs to 13, time on attack 713 to 541. Either way, man, we're here in overtime, and Quiggin's going to take this thing into the corner, and oh, Yandel with the goal! Oh my goodness! He took a big hit, he paid the price, but I think it was worth it. The goal to win the game, and Utah will lose. Unfortunately, they can't get the upset, but Tucson will go to the Western Conference Finals, and they'll await their opponent, either Kansas City or Toledo. I think we might know who's going to win that game, right? Maybe. I mean, Toledo did upset Dakota, so it's very, very possible. But guys, take one more look at that goal. That was a beautiful pass by Caspian Quiggins. And Yandel there right up the middle had a very, very good look. He went top shelf right side of the net, blocker side on Minor, and it was a great goal. Great goal for a defenseman, no less. I mean, it must be like what Tucson likes to do, because they did have that goal from Pattengale that you guys saw earlier. They like to get their defensemen moving up. It's kind of an interesting strategy there, but Yandel there with 3 shots on goal had that goal to win the game, and Trees was solid. 15 of 18. I still feel like he could have played a little bit better, could have been a little bit more consistent, but defensively, I think Tucson is a little bit weak in that aspect, because they like to bring their defensemen up. That could it's kind of a risk at that point. But let's get to Brooklyn and Richmond, an Eastern Conference matchup here in the semifinals, and we've got some good goaltending. We got Borhoft making some nice saves for Brooklyn, and then on the other side, Caden Primo making some nice saves for Richmond. We got Brooklyn here on a power play. That's Spud Chavez trying to move it in, but we've got Orslin actually keeping it in, and oh, what a nice pass from Misa to Broadway, and Broadway's going to put this thing in as a power play goal. Brooklyn, obviously the favorites here in this matchup, and they take the lead here 1-0. Borhoft with a nice save, and he's going to try to continue it here, but no such luck. Very nice move by Rowney to get past the defender. And we'll take one more look at it here as we see the score at the end of the first period. Trying to poke check that thing, trying to get it out of his handle, but no such luck. 11 shots for Richmond, 7 for Brooklyn. Time on attack pretty much being dominated by Richmond here. Face-offs 10-2. Richmond is pretty much dominated the first period. And here's a nice pass to Lachlan Chisholm with the goal. We'll get a GG9 replay on this one, as I want you to focus here on the defenseman towards Borhoff. That's Spud Chavez. Not sure where he was or what he was doing. He was more like talking to Borhoff, like, hey man, what you doing after the game tonight? Rather than focusing on Chisholm here. But Brooklyn will get the game-tying goal back. That's Dean Laukus with the goal. His second of the postseason. It's now 2-2. 17 seconds left, and oh, what a beautiful save. That's a glove-handed save by Robert Borhoff. Unbelievable. But again, defensively, what are we doing here? Third period, Jim Morrow, one of the custom players here for Richmond, just moving on in, just nonchalantly, not really making a whole lot of moves, and that's another goal for Richmond. So defensively speaking, they're not really helping Borhoft out. It doesn't look like it anyway. But in a 3-2 game, Brooklyn's got to find their offense here, and oh, look at Romano with the shot deflection, and then Michael Misa coming in, getting the deflection, getting the rebound, and putting it back home. So 3-3 game now with 10 minutes in the third period, and we got a tripping call. That's a penalty, and that's going to open the door here for the Dragons to get a much-needed goal. If they can get a goal here and take the lead, I think they might just do it. But we've got a face-off win, and Weekdays with the shot, and then the rebound again. That's Zilberman with the goal. Primo has not been able to handle that rebound control to his left. He's not been able to handle that. But third period, last shot for Richmond. And that was a good look, but they just couldn't convert it. But they played well, man. They played really well. I mean, this is the best team in the Eastern Conference, would be the Brooklyn Dragons. They took them right down to the wire. So hats off to a good season for Richmond, but Brooklyn really dominated the rest of the game. 10 face-offs, 1-17. They were down a lot in that category. They outshot Richmond in the second and in the third period, and Borhoft was decent. 18 saves, 21 shots against him. I mean, you look at that and you're thinking okay, so what if Borhoft had 30 plus shots against him? How many would he have given up at that point? Caden Primo numbers, I would rather have that than what Borhoff's been doing. I don't know. In gameplay, Borhoff has not been very good. I'll just say that. And it's very strange for me because I want him to be a lot better than he is because the simulation says that he's better. But, you know, just something to watch out for. Let's get into Kansas City's game against Toledo here, but something to watch out for if you're a Brooklyn fan or if you're making picks to who you think's going to win. They're not very good. The Borhoff thing and like some other goaltenders here, these custom guys, are just not good. They're not as good in gameplay as they are in simulation. But take a look at this matchup, guys. Kansas City, Toledo, 2-0 already, and goaltender here, Fulcher, just doesn't seem to have it today. It's not looking very good. And Kansas City's definitely got more offensive pieces than Dakota does. And that's, I think, really a reason why Toledo was able to hang with Dakota, because they just don't have as many offensive weapons as Kansas City does. I mean, we've talked about Kansas City ad nauseum here. I mean, they've still got Bobby Malone, who's an enforcer type of guy, moving in and making plays. And we've got Brodeur making some nice saves, keeping his guys in it. That's the one thing about Toledo is if you can shut them down, if you can shut this offense down and just let your offense work. Like Personen gets his own rebound here to get a goal. That's number 4. He had a hat trick in the last game and up 4-1 here, and a beautiful goal there by Mitchell Simmons. He gets goal number 2 of the night. He scored on a really fancy looking move to get goal number 1. And that's a power play variety, and that's it. That's the highlight, guys. Kansas City's going to win, and there was nothing else to show, man. So a 5-1 victory over Toledo. You know, maybe in some circles you might think that Toledo gave it everything they had just to beat Dakota, who's already a physical team as it is, and that they were exhausted. They were tired. 40 shots given up to Kansas City against your 23. So I think some fatigue had to have been a factor here for Toledo, and just a talent gap, a definite talent gap. Now, as far as an MVP goes, I would give it to Brodeur. Even though Simmons had 2 goals here, like, they didn't really need his 2 goals. The game was pretty much over before it even started. At puck drop, the game was over. So I'd probably give the MVP award here for this game to Brodeur. 22 of 23. Just a great game by him. Now, I do want to talk about this game. I had this gameplay recorded, and what I noticed is when I was exporting a video, like a Saints video or Cajun 6, I don't remember which one it was taxing my computer because I was recording this game and then I was also exporting another video trying to get that out to YouTube, and it was very taxing on my PC. So I stopped the recording. I looked at the video. And there was so much screen tearing that I figured I can't show that. I got to restart the game. I got to restart this thing. So I backed out of the game. It was an overtime win for Charleston. I went back into the save file and there's an autosave on. So that sucks because I had already deleted the screen tearing video, the corrupt video file. So I can't even show it to you guys. Can't even share anything from that game for you because not only did it cut off and the screen tearing cut off all the good parts, but I had to tell you guys that because it's a playoff matchup and it sucks that that's what happened. But you know, I can't replace the game. I can't even redo it in like a play now or anything because Charleston is in the playoffs. They're in the conference finals at this point. There's nothing that I can do. But let's now just jump into Tucson against Kansas City here in the Western Conference Finals. I don't want to take away from this game trying to explain myself away, but it was a mistake, guys, and you know, I apologize for that. So I've turned the autosave off since then, so just know that that's never going to be an issue again. Let's get into the action, guys. So Pavlin is going to bring Kansas City back into the game here. It is now 2-1, and we've got ourselves a pretty cool matchup here between Tucson and Kansas City. A lot of offensive firepower here in this hockey game. Goaltenders Brodeur and Trees, they're going to have to both be on their game, and it looks like Brodeur is going to be, man. Like, he gave up those 2 early goals, but dang, those last 2 plays, he's looked really good. But that's a beautiful, beautiful setup there by Alexeev. Great opportunity there for Kansas City, and Stahl back to Stockton, over here to Shortall. Stockton with the shot, and a rebound, and Quiggins gets goal number 3. That's a hat trick in the Western Conference Finals. This guy has really, really stepped up. Caspian Quiggins, 3rd goal tonight. He's had a really nice assist to send them to this game in overtime. Remember, back over to Yandel. Like, it was like he's played so well. But with Tucson with the lead here, they're going to deliver a big hit, and Bobby Malone, being the enforcer, says, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm protecting my teammates. I'm going to try to fire my guys up. And he wins the fight. That's going to give a big boost out there to the Kansas City Scouts team, man. Bobby Malone he's a baller, man. He's a boss. He's tough to beat in those fights. But Luke Vinskov actually delivered the big hit, and he's going to pay for that with a loss. And, hey, Tucson gets on a power play here after an interference call by Connor Toms. So now they've got 2 guys in the penalty box. That's going to open up the door here for the Armadillos. Now here they've got the power play, 1:13 left, and a shot saved by Brodeur, but in the back of the net in the trapezoid area, Stahl gets the pass from the back of the net in front. That's an easy goal for Tucson. We got a score of 4-1. Now Yandel with the turnover, can't box his guy out. That's Cairns with the shot. The goal pops the water bottle right off. And Trees unable to get that glove up fast enough as Rory Cairns with the score. It's 4-2 now. And here's Filppula with the shot. And oh no, right back to Alexeev. We got to get a GG9 replay on this one, boys, because I think the deflection for the defenseman right there, look at this. Take one more look at it. The deflection, he tried to corral this one. That's McCluskey, not a defenseman, but a forward, and he could not corral it. Alexeev was right there, stole it away from him, and gets the goal. So 4-3 going into the third period. Take a look at the box score here. 24 shots to 15. 404 for Tucson. 314 the time of attack. I love to look at that. Faceoffs won 16-9 for Kansas City. It's been a pretty even matchup the whole way through. And now in the third period, we've got Tucson really getting physical, really busting this out. And you got to wonder, how is Kansas City going to battle against that? So Tucson's not a very physical team, but they can bust it out every now and then when they need to. They got some big-bodied forwards there. I mean, take a look at what they're doing here to this line for Kansas City. They cannot get the puck out of their own zone. Thompson here just trying to kick this thing out. And again, passing it all over the place. Grimaldi finally gets it past their own end, and now working in Tucson's end. They've got a slap shot here. That's going to go off wide. Here's McCluskey moving in, and Carnegie with the shot, and then the goal. McCluskey moving on in, breaking towards the net. Good things will always happen if you play hard to the net, and Carter McCluskey with another goal, second of the playoffs. It's now 5-3, and Kansas City only has 25 more seconds to get 2 goals. In this situation, they need to get an empty net out. They have to get the goaltender out of the net. They got to get an extra attacker going, man. You're down by 2 goals, but they aren't going to. They get a shot on Lion Trees. Zumwalt here in the back corner, going to kick this thing back. They're going to circle it back, a slap shot, and guys, that is going to pretty much do it. 3.7 seconds they got to score 2 goals. They'll win the faceoff. They'll get a shot off. That's going to go off wide, and Tucson will go to the XHL Finals. Congratulations to the Armadillos. They beat the Kansas City Scouts in a fairly close matchup. I think Tucson they played a little bit more physical. I feel like both offenses are fairly equal. They got a bunch of playmakers on both sides of the ice here, both teams. But I believe that Kansas City in free agency and in the draft, they're going to have to probably focus on trying to get somebody that's a little bit more physical. Bring some physicality to this roster. They really only have one guy. That's Bobby Malone. That's really their only enforcer. But you look at Tucson, they are very, very well balanced. And I think that that's really what cost Kansas City this matchup. Plus some pretty good goaltending from Trees, as he only gave up 3 goals against a very, very good offense, guys. So Brodeur gives up 5 goals tonight, 29-34. Just didn't have his A game. You know, Trees just beat him. That's ultimately what it came down to, is the goaltending, I think, too. But let's get into this matchup. We got Charleston and Brooklyn, and you know what? I think Charleston is, I'm not going to say they're getting lucky, but they are coming together. They're really getting a full 60 minutes of hockey going for them. I mean, they've got a good goaltender right now. Keegan Finch has been hot. You can take a look at some of the saves that he's making here against Brooklyn. And their offense, I'm not going to say their offense is getting lucky, but man, they did not show this during the regular season. I think Charleston has just gotten hot on both ends of the ice. Defensively, offensively, they're just a force to be reckoned with right now. And Brooklyn now finds themselves down 2-0 here early in the first period, guys. So 5 minutes left to go here in the first, and we've got a goal. That's a deflection, little rebound right back to JJ Broadway, and he's going to get a goal. I like to see it. I'm actually rooting for Brooklyn here. I like the Dragons. My high school mascot was the Dragons, so I'm rooting for these guys. But take a look at what Keegan Finch is doing, guys. This is so difficult. The rebound's going to your right. You've got a wide open net over here, and yet he's got enough wherewithal, enough anticipation to know that Brooklyn's not going there. They're not going to go to that side. They're going to try to fake me out, and they're going to try to go to the right side, my glove side. And he figured that out. He made the save, and it was a beauty. But Dean Locus with another goal. He had a goal in the last game against Richmond, and he ties this baby up. So it's his third goal of the playoffs, and it's a 2-2 game here in the second period. Brooklyn looking for the lead at this point, but they got a turnover. It's going to be mano-a-mano. Rhino Power against Robert Borhoft, and he comes up with a huge save, but they can't get the puck out. Power passing it back, and then we got Komarov with the shot, but Borhoft stands tall. Fantastic job by Robert Borhoff, but take a look. We're going to screenshot this. Take one look. Oh, those Brooklyn defenders, man. There's 5 of them right there. They can't box out or follow Brandon Peary, and he's going to find a way to get a goal. Put a nice move on Borhoff, and now it's 3-2, guys. And look at Rhino Power. Just great passing all the way around for the Rampage, and their best player got wide open there and moved right on in, got a good look, and now, guys, it is 4-2. And they're not going to stop there. Take a look at what Rhino Power does right here. The little head fake, and then the pass up the middle to Komarov. That is another goal. It is 5-2. They'll score another one, making it 6-2, and that is going to do it. The Charleston Rampage. Where did this come from? They were one of the worst XHL custom teams. Like, they were the last seed. Out of every one of my custom teams that I made, these guys were the worst of the bunch. And now they're going to the finals to take on Tucson, the Armadillos. This is just a weird Season 1 matchup, man. I'm sitting here thinking it's going to be Brooklyn, Kansas City, or like Seattle, Brooklyn, something like where it's the heavy favorites. But no, man, we've got upsets galore in the XHL playoffs, and just what a run by Charleston. I'm kind of rooting for them now. I love my Armadillos, but man, Charleston has put on a clinic in the postseason. Their offense has just come alive. Keegan Finch is one of the strongest goaltenders in the postseason to date, and I think they just might do it. I think they might go on the Cinderella run and win the whole dang thing. 35 shots for Brooklyn, 19 for Charleston. So they got outshot. So again, you run into a hot goaltender, anything can happen. Keegan Finch, 33 saves on 30, I think that was 35 or 36 shots against him, guys, and just unbelievable performance. Robert Borhoff, 16 shots against him, only 10 were saved. So you got to wonder, though, man, I've said it before, that for whatever reason in gameplay, some of these custom goaltenders, they just don't do much. In simulation, they're great, but in gameplay, they're just not very good. I know that there's an attribute called goaltender consistency or something. Every one that I put on was a 0 out of 2, which from my Reddit research is actually the most consistent. So it's got something to do with how you want your goaltenders to play. Like some nights they're going to be really good, and some nights they're going to be really bad. They're going to be off and on sometimes, but yeah, these guys should be a lot better than what they are. He should be playing more like Keegan Finch in gameplay. Finch has been awesome in gameplay, man. So, I don't know. I'd have to do more research. Maybe you guys that know the NHL games a little bit more than I do, maybe you can kind of inform me of that. But I like it for storylines. I know that everybody loves their customs to do well, but I think it does help the league if you don't take it so personally, you know? Just allow the league to kind of create its own storylines, and we'll see how it all plays out. But the storyline here for the XHL Finals, Tucson against Charleston. Just a very weird, strange matchup, and you take a look at that bracket of all the goofy things that have happened here. Just a lot of upsets, and you know, that's going to happen. Hockey is, that's why they do multiple games in a series, because sometimes it is a little fluky at some points, but I kind of like that aspect of the XHL because anything can happen. But at the same time, I do understand, I do realize that you know, maybe there were more deserving teams at this point. But Charleston had to earn it, man. They played against Atlanta. It's not like they had an ECHL road to get to the finals. Like, they had to play a tough Atlanta team. They upset them, scored 8 goals. They played tough against Tampa Bay, even though you guys didn't see that game. That was a very physical, tough battle, and that they won in overtime and beating Brooklyn 6-2. Like, that's not a tough task at all, especially against Robert Borhoff. So ultimately, it's going to be a good finals. I like it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be cool. You might argue that Tucson might have lucked out here. You know, you play against Albuquerque, arguably maybe the second worst team of the custom group, beating them 4-1, and then with the upset there, you got to wonder if Seattle beats Utah, does Seattle beat Tucson? I think that they probably would, and you know, getting an ECHL team in the next round, that helped them, definitely, for sure. But then you could say the same thing for Kansas City, getting Toledo in the semifinals. Ultimately, those teams had to play against each other, and you know, Tucson beat them. So some pretty cool storylines, though, all in all. But guys, that's it for the video. Leave a like if you like this thing, and I will see you back here on Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It'll take about 30 minutes to 40 minutes of your night if you want to come out and hang out and watch this finals game. I will be on the mic as long as you know, my throat is still okay here. It seems to be better, but I'm still kind of coughing up a little bit, and I don't know. It's still not quite gone yet, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get right for this game. Otherwise, we'll have to do Ray Ferraro and James Cebulski, and I'm pretty sure you guys will be all right with that. But optimally, I want to try to get on the mic and do the commentary. But this is going to be an awesome matchup, man. I can feel it. A lot of goals. But I'm kind of pulling for Charleston. Let me know in the comment section who you guys are rooting for, and I'll see you guys on Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.